Bitcoin is still trading in the range 90,000 to $94,000. No wonder crypto bubbles is still showing us bullish signal for altcoins because altcoins are reacting to what Bitcoin is doing. In today's weekly show, what I want us to establish is where we are currently and where price might be heading towards, let's say this week. Okay? And we're gonna base our analysis on market structure. We're gonna look at whether we are ranging, we are in an uptrend, or we are in a downtrend. This is important because once we establish all of this, it's gonna help us to know what step to take or what to expect before we move forward or before we take any action. And I want you to understand that what I do here is not any trade signal or it's not to give you predictions. It's to help you understand market structure and to help you understand how to read market structure and how to apply market structure to your day-to-day trading or day-to-day analysis. And usually we start with a week to see like the preview of the previous week and to see how the coming week or how this week is gonna look like. So if you're new here, this is the Beton Crypto. I create content to help you understand what goes on in the market. I'm not about hype. I'm not about predictions. I'm not about signals. I'm about market structure, learning how to read the market properly. So if this sort of content interests you, you wanna go right now and smash the subscribe button, thumbs up, and then let's dive really straight like quickly into the show for today. Okay, now as usual, let's look at the fear and greed index to see where we are, the sentiment. Like this is just the sentiment, right? Let's see where we are. We are at 27, meaning we are dropping down a little bit. We left 29, and now we are 27. Okay, let me just say yesterday was weekend. Today we need to see how the market is gonna react. The market is gravitating around the 90,000 price point to the 94,000 price point, right? And there's something I want to establish here before we move forward. I want us to establish the bias for the week first, right? The bias for the week is simple. We are still in an uptrend. We haven't yet, broken like structure, take out this low here, and this is based on the previous price action. We haven't yet taken out this low here, which means we are still in an uptrend. And what price is doing here currently in the future, based on the weekly setup, is what price did in the past based on the weekly setup. So if you look at the past, you see that price did something here before go to make the next all-time high, and then you can see price is also doing the same thing here. And I'm going to go down to a different chart to show you guys like what is really going on here based on price action. Because guys, like as I mentioned, I want you guys to always be ahead of the curve. My channel is going to be more and more focusing on educating you guys on how to read the market. And when we do our Monday sessions, it's not just to look at a preview of what happened last week, then look at what we might be expecting based on market structure. Now, the weekly time frame on Bitcoin shows that we are bullish for Bitcoin, right? We are still bullish. We haven't yet taken out this low, yeah. And the daily time frame also shows that we are bullish because we haven't yet taken out this low here around 75 or around 75 or $74,000. We are still bullish. Price hasn't yet taken out this low. So what we should expect based on this current price action is that price go and revisit this previous high and previous. You can see this. There's a higher, and you can take this high as an area where you kind of cash out a profit, right? So it can be like TP1, let's say TP1 here, take profit 1 year. This zone should be let's say TP1 based on the daily time frame, right? Then the upper zone should be TP2, then TP3. You can see we have liquidity here. There's this vector candle, and also I will say that it's a fair value gap here, and a vector candle on the daily time frame. So this should be an important area of all, let's say, important liquidity that they can go and grab based on the on daily time frame, and this is gonna be around, or this is around 100 to $110,000. And if we zoom out, you're gonna see that this zone here, this zone above this area here, this area is an important area because you can see this was the previous high before price break structure from here. You can see this was a high before price break structure. If we see this level, I think okay, I'm gonna focus on this because this is very important. Let me stick on this high here. So this is the high, even though the high is corresponding to this level. You can see this is a high that price break, to go and make the next high. And you can see price break down, or price take out this low with this vector candle. If you look at it properly, you're gonna see that there was a low here around this area. So this area, the whole of this area should be an important area of interest for the market makers to easily push price to from where we are, And if you look at based on the daily time frame, you can see that based on this time frame, price can easily move upward to this level because if you look at the previous price action, you can see clearly based on the volume profile here. Look at what price did. This zone here was an area of interest, and you can see price break this zone with high volume. Look at this vector candle. If I bring in the volume here, you're gonna see that this area was accompanied by a huge volume. Look at this level here. Look at this a huge volume. Break this area. You can see these two vector candle. They are huge volume, and they break this zone, creating this fair value gap here. You can see there's a fair value gap here and an other block somewhere here, and you can see the move started around this area here, down here, and took us right up there. Right. So looking at this now, can see that price have revisited this area and look at where price is, guys. This is fantastic. Price is around a key area where price left before in the past. You can see clearly that this was a zone based on the value area high of this volume profile. Look at where price break with high volume. So seeing price breaking this zone with high volume is a signal that the market makers wanted to push price more to the upside. And we can look at this and now say to ourselves, maybe the same thing is going to happen here in the future. Because if you look at the future currently, what do you see? We see that price attempted to break this with high volume, yeah, with this vector candle, but we didn't see any further continuation with price. There wasn't any next candle to continue with price, and price still stay within that range. And if we look at this zone here, you're gonna see that we have had rejection here, like multiple rejection. So this area is a clear support zone. Before it was resistance, and it has flipped. Now it's becoming, or it has become support zone. So within this structure on the daily time frame, there is a strong support and resistance level, and you can see clearly how this has played out in the past, and you can see how it is being respected in the future. So if we drop now down to the 4 hours time frame, we can easily see what price has been doing based on this time frame, and we can make our conclusion based on this. You can see that if we are still in this zone, right, and you see any huge vector candle from here that break and close above the value area high, then it should be like a signal. But because price is failing, you can see like this move should have taken us, this move here should have taken us straight up there. It shouldn't have slow down a little bit like what happened here. You see, yeah, you saw the break was fast. There was the first candle that break, the second followed, and then a little bit of consolidation, then movement. So this move would have been straightforward from down here. So that's why I'm thinking maybe they're gonna bring price a little bit downward again towards this POC level here, because price left the POC, it hasn't yet come back there. So they're gonna bring it a little bit around $87,000, and from there they might now, well, like even more lower. From there, they can just market straight to grab this liquidity around 110,000 to or 109,000 to 110,000 dollars. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Not like it's gonna happen today. This is based on the structure. The structure is telling me based on, like, even though we haven't changed character, we are still in this zone. We are gonna decide whether we are gonna continue downward or go upward. But for us to do that, you need to be looking at key areas that price is rejecting. And because we are rejecting this zone here where price is on daily time frame, you can drop now down to the 4 hours time frame to see, okay, since we have established as this zone or important area of interest, now that price has come back around this area, you want to start looking for that long opportunities here, not short, because you cannot short knowing that price has been rejecting this area in the past. This is a clear support zone based on, even though we haven't changed character. So in this, like in the consolidation, in the consolidated price action, we have a zone here. So I'm reading price action. I'm not reacting yet, or I'm not like taking the trade. I'm just looking at, okay, what has price been doing in the past? You can see rejecting. So clearly, if we keep rejecting this zone based on the 4 hours time frame, because the 4 hours time frame gave us a clear structure, it means that we can look at the 1 hour time frame, based on this still to get in. Then you target this high here, so you can get in scalp real quick and get out of here. So I've just given you guys the key areas for the weekly setup, daily setup, 4 hour setup, and now you can trade this based on market session time. So we can go down to the 15 minutes time frame. This could be fake out move, the fake out move for the weekend move. You can see weekend move price was moving sideways until yesterday that we saw. That was towards the beginning of the Monday session. That's ASA session. You saw how price, so ASA took us right up there to $92,000. So this could be the fake out. You can see UK has revisited back the UK low of the week. You can see clearly, and price has held this zone based on the 4 hour on the 1 hour time frame, and now we are in this range. So based on the 15 minutes time frame, now that we are in this range based on this time frame, and we are heading towards the US session, this is the range, yeah, that you should pay attention to. So you bring in the volume profile, yeah, you mark this range. You want to see price break this zone with, if you see any vector candle break and close above either of these, either the value area low, the value area high, that's when you're going to getting in, and you see break right below with volume, like taking out this low here. This is how you have to react to it. If you see something like that, it's simple. Just wait for price to break, with high volume break. Then you are shorting the retest. Then you target the previous low based on the higher time frame market structure. So this is like easy, guys. It's not easy. Just make sure you pay attention to what price is doing, and then you're gonna react to it based on how price has been rejecting those area, and make sure you trade US session. Avoid trading the UK and the Asian session. Of course, you can trade UK, but UK usually is straightforward. UK is gonna react to what um um Asia has done, and then US is going to set the trend for that day. Like I mean, US is going to actually come with high volume, and if you see US take out the high of UK, it means US want to go and actually take out the high or visit the high of Asia. So or if US is breaking the low of Asia, it means US wanna go take out or wanna go visit the low of US and Asia based on last week price action. You just have to make sure you understand and follow this carefully. And this zone is an important zone, as I mentioned in the past. Now let's get to Ethereum real quick and see what this bad boy got for us based on the weekly setup, daily setup, and 4 hour setup. Then we can look at some trades and see whether this is possible for us. So based on the weekly setup, Ethereum is still giving us that flavor, right? So you can see, guys, we made this huge move from this zone here. You can see this was a clear order block that took us straight away to the upside. And if we mark this area based on previous price action, you're gonna see that this area was acting as a strong, like strong demand and supply zone in the past after Ethereum made this high year around October 2021. You can see, so price had to, revisit this area from here back to this zone, and you can see that from this zone, price wasn't able to take out this low here, this low. Even though, like, I'm not gonna call this, like, if you look at Ethereum carefully, you're gonna see that price has gone to an extent to this area, yeah, but we haven't yet make or go to make the next all-time high, right? But you can see that this was a previous low, and we can look at this previous low to be the main low that we need to take out before we say we are bearish for Ethereum based on the weekly setup. So we're just gonna, like, just for the sake of, let's say, maybe it's difficult for price to just go down right down to, let me say right down to about $80, because I don't think we're gonna see Ethereum right down to $80. So this low here should be the main low that we should expect price to stay above. And because we haven't yet taken out the low, and this low is around the 800 dollars, 877, 800, like $877, then it means we are back in a range that price was able to hold. So we came to a range that price was able to hold, and we are now in an area where price is trying to hold as well. So if you see in the past, look at this zone. If we mark this zone in the past, see that, and take it to the future, you're gonna see that this area was acting as an area of support in the past based on the weekly setup. So because it was acting that way, you can see that price, price flipped this zone and then came back and retest this zone. So this area now should be an important area of interest for Ethereum, and Ethereum is exactly at that area where we should expect price to either consolidate from here and go and revisit the previous high. So the whole of this zone here, based on previous price action, is an important zone for Ethereum that we have to pay attention to. Now that we have established that we are sitting currently at a strong resistance level, show a strong support level based on previous price action, you know, then what we should expect price to do based on what price is doing currently is for price to revisit the previous high, which is $4,755. And you can see clearly that where price is at currently, right? We need to see price, to an extent, break and close above this other high here. So I'm going to mark this high. Price took out this high here. So if we need to see any movement to the upside based on the weekly setup for Ethereum, we need to see price get to this zone here, this area. So any trade, be it swing trade for like you take on like buying Ethereum here, then your target should be around this 4,100, and, or let me just say 4,000 price point, right? From where we are currently. You can get out at $4,100 or $4,200. Just this high here should be your main target. And you can see from this high, we drop right down to this low, and we can see that we have a vector here, and we also have a vector candle around this area that they haven't yet recovered. These are all liquidity zone that they still need to go and grab, right? They haven't yet grabbed this liquidity yet. So if we now drop down to the daily time frame, because we have established the bias for the week is bullish, we are still in an uptrend for Ethereum, right? So now looking at this setup, what we should expect for price to do is at least sweep um this liquidity here, and also sweep this liquidity above price. And if we look carefully, you're gonna see that these areas here are all important area of interest, because ever since Ethereum took out this high, yeah, right, we haven't yet revisit this zone, this area where the move actually started. I think this was the area here, and we are just, yeah, because we still left this area and came here, like move sideways a little bit, and also there was a fair value gap here that price didn't really grab everything. You can see clearly this fair value gap here, price just grabbed some of it and left some of it. So if we have to mark this in the future, we can look at all of this area to be an important area of interest for Ethereum, right? That they can easily push price to. This is around a $2,000 price point. We have liquidity there. They can easily drop price there, and even right down to about 1,800. Just depend on how Ethereum is gonna sorry how Bitcoin is gonna be playing out. So based on this, we are still far away like from where we are. We still have lots of support zones here that price still needs to grab. So based on this now, we need to make sure that we focus on what price is doing currently for us to make sure we take out what price is doing. So um guys, I have to get something here. Um guys, I have to check out some stuff. Yeah, let me 1 minute. I'm gonna come back a little quick. I'm expecting the package, so I'm looking at when maybe the package has been dropped. So 1 minute, guys. I'm expecting the package here. It's very important package. So I want to see whether the um the car is actually available now. Let me see. Just receive a message now that they're gonna come. So let me see. Okay, guys. The driver is not yet available, so I've instead gonna stop receiving message. But I'm gonna make sure I do fast so I can catch up with the delivery. So based on this time frame, right, on the daily time frame with Ethereum, we should expect Ethereum. This is a zone that price has created based on this setup. You can see clearly, right? This area here is an important area of interest based on the daily time frame, right? So we are still in this range, and what Bitcoin is doing is the same thing Ethereum is doing. That's why usually if I chart Bitcoin, I don't want to stay on Ethereum. If Bitcoin is going to be bullish, then I'm going to automatically be bullish with Ethereum, right? So that's why if we're going to see Bitcoin bullish, then Ethereum is going to be the same thing. I'm not going to waste time on with Ethereum. What I did with Bitcoin is going to be the same thing with Ethereum. And looking at Solana, right? I think it's gonna be the same stuff based on that. Yeah, you can see based on this time frame, it's the same thing. We are still ranging, moving sideways based on that. And if you look at the weekly setup, right, you're gonna see that we are still sitting around this key level. Yeah. So Solana is holding this level. It's an important level that Solana is holding. And we don't want to see Solana break and close below this level, right? If it does, then it's gonna be bad. We can drop right down to about like right down here to even let's say right down to about 75 thousand dollars, which is something I think is possible. Like if we see any something really happen with Bitcoin, then this is gonna be the case with Solana and other asset that we are gonna be looking at. Now let's look at gold real quick. Silver is on fire, and gold also is on fire. Gold has gone to make the next all-time high. You can see gold is on fire. And guys, it's simple. Like if we look at the 4 hours time frame, right? Based on this setup. Remember, I told you guys something here. I marked the zone. Like that's why I love my analysis. I love what I do a lot because when we left this zone on the 4 hours time frame, I told you guys that this was the area that caused this move to the upside. So we should expect price to revisit this zone here. And from there, we need to see how price is going to react, And if we see price maintain structure, which is this was the previous low after this high, this low here, and price maintained this low, price wasn't able to take out this low. Let me just say this was the previous low, right? And price wasn't able to take out this low. This week, was just grab of liquidity, and ever since we didn't come back there, and price had to break. You can see break this level. The move started here and took us right up there. This was a target. You would have cashed out your profit, and now we have broken structure again on this time frame. The same thing we should apply. Yeah, what we did last time. You mark this zone. This was the area that break and close above. So whatever you're gonna be doing, if you want to trade this, you cannot trade this now. If you want to trade this, of course you can, but I don't recommend you trade this like now. You would have bought this long time ago, yeah, when price was still around this area, or when price revisited this zone. You would have gotten gold, yeah. But now it's already too late. Except you are like an investor in gold, right? But if you want to buy, wait for price to get back towards this area where that price break structure based on the 4 hours time frame. Okay, and that's gonna be the best entry for you when if you are trading gold. But the weekly setup for gold is still bullish. If you look at this, we are still in an uptrend. If I bring in my indicators, you're gonna see that we're gonna be still above my indicators. But guys, this is fantastic based on the weekly setup. You can see if this week closed bullish, price stays above these levels, then it's gonna be great for gold. Now looking at silver, let's see. Yeah, the same thing. Silver has gone to make the next all-time high, and I'm still looking at this area for silver to retrace to if say we start seeing silver dropping again in value. But again, based on this time frame, we should be expecting at least some sort of movement. If say we see a spike to the upside, we should expect price to revert a little bit around the 70 dollars per ounce before expecting price to drop. But for now, just make sure you look at this area here, this zone as the main support zone for now, because this high low, if we make another higher, then the next support zone should be around this area, yeah, based on this time frame, daily time frame. So these are all key areas. If we're gonna lose this zone, yeah, based on the daily time frame, then we're gonna drop straight away down here. So guys, this is what I'm looking at when it comes to gold, silver, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. I don't want to make this stream to be so long, and besides, I'm expecting a package, and I don't want them to take it away. So I'm gonna end the live for today, and see you guys tomorrow, same time. Until then, don't forget to subscribe and take care of yourself. Bye bye. Ciao.